Hello guys, it is Baby Name Monday. Welcome on round. Today's list are boy and girl names and they're all around the theme of minerals, rocks and crystals. So I absolutely love this theme. We all love nature types of names and these are really, really rare. This type of name has been used for years and years, centuries actually. Some of these are really ancient names, but then we get more that come forward, like the rubies, jade, and those types of names, pearl, even really back with the boom now. So I found some more rare gems and boy names as well, because they are so strong and gorgeous. So hit subscribe if you're in the market for a baby name, if you're expecting a baby, or you just love names. Do hit subscribe, and let's get on with the name list and join in below any ideas that you have as well. So the first name is a really rare one, and there's actually 3 babies called this last year, and it's the name Olivine. So it's so beautiful, and I'm kind of crediting us for the 3 babies because we mentioned this, I think it was on the podcast that we do, Baby Name Envy, me and my sister, as an idea for somebody looking for this type of name, and I reckon that we've named 3 Olivine because it's so rare, such a lovely alternative for Olivia. I would say it now, I'm so obsessed with Olivine, and it is a really rare gemstone. They're absolutely beautiful because they're a green colour, which is my favourite colour, so earthy and natural, and they're really special because they have anti-anger qualities in terms of, if you believe in crystal healing, that is what they are after, which I think is just really nice. Need a bit of that sometimes. So they're a very calming stone and that green calming colour. But what I love about the olivine is that the spectral dust of olivines are found in young stars and comets. So when they've gone, I don't know who knows that. I was about to say when they go out to space and find them, I don't know, but that is where they also find it. And I love the beauty of an olivine being a young star or a comet, because star names and space names are so whimsical and magical as well. Olivine, you would never get bored of saying that, would you? It's such a rare one. This next name I think is more male sounding, and it's the name Gabriel. So written down like this, isn't it really unusual? So this is a rock that is indigenous rock that's found in the very deep oceanic core. So it's kind of got loads of themes going for it in terms of it being a water or ocean name, as well as this really strong rock that it is, and you'll recognize it because it's very, very sort of dark black, and it's often used for like work surfaces and things like that. So often we really like this look, don't we? It's just so unusual. I've never heard this term before of Gabriel, and I really think it works because we love names with the O at the end. It's really unusual, but it doesn't sound odd as a name. It's got a lot of name sound to it with that strong O at the end. So next up is a girl name, which I thought would be higher up, but there were actually only 18 girls called Coral last year, and that's kind of where it's been for a really long time. I thought there were so many more girls named Coral. It feels like really wearable, really pretty. We're all familiar with coral. You know, a lot of us have gone on holidays to do diving near the coral, so why are we not using it for our girl names? It's a bit like pearl. So I was like, is this actually a rock or a mineral or a gemstone? It's actually an organic gemstone, so there's some sort of difference about how it's made. It's kind of called the Garden of the Sea because originally it would have almost been a plant that has then mineralized into a crystallite structure. So I just think it's a beautiful name, really free-spirited. You can imagine a little coral, definitely a beach vibe, surfer vibe little girl. Coral. Surprised it's so low down. For boys, how about the name Flint? So a beautiful name. A flint actually means stream, which I had no idea about. So it's this hard rock that we often talk about producing fire. So you think about flint in that way as well, very sort of a strong name, but it's quite soft with the meaning of stream, which I had no idea about. So if you love the name river or something like that, but feel it's too popular for you, you could go by flint. It's a dark grey or black colour, which makes it quite masculine, and it's a lot of character names. So I found out that Sandman in Spider-Man's actually called Flint, which is quite, I've got a little Spider-Man obsessed little boys. There's also Captain Flint that we think of, and then there was Flint in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball. So it's kind of out there as a character name, but less so as an actual name. There were only 11 boys named Flint last year. What I quite liked about it is that sometimes with the name ending in T, doesn't get said, does it? We sort of go Flint. Or like my sister's got a Lottie and everyone's like Lottie, and it's a bad habit in Britain that we sort of will not say the T sometimes, but Flint, if you kind of don't say the T, it's still Flynn. I was like playing around with it a little bit, for that does make me like it a little bit more. But Flint, I think it's really cool, so modern, one syllable, really trendy boy name. The next name is another one you'd have heard of. It's actually the highest one on this list, and it's the name Sapphire. It's just a name I really love because I love the nickname Sapphy. I think it's such a beautiful name and it's so well known as a gemstone name, but it still only ranks at 393 in the UK, so not one of the top names at all, but just so gorgeous. Sapphires are known for being blue, for being royal colours, so Princess Diana had a sapphire engagement ring, so it's quite classy potentially as a name, a little bit more so than some of the other literal gem names. Sounds quite a nice one, and I liked the fact that it also hits this Greek mythology trend. Yeah, that is a trend. That is a baby name trend, guys. We'll trend anything over on baby news. But yeah, so the Greek mythology trend. So in the past, in Greek myth, the sky was blue because it was reflecting a giant sapphire that the earth sat on top of. So it's quite a cool name. It's kind of like something around sapphire being the center of your world. This really beautiful blue color that's associated with it, that can always be a color that you associate with your little daughter if she was called Sapphire. I think it's a really beautiful name. Or a name I'm really crushing on at the moment is the name Ochre. So it's not pronounced how it looks, which I think makes it hard because you're not so sure how to say it, ochre, but Oakley and those sort of wood oak names are really popular at the moment. And ochre is actually a kind of a mineral, like a sand or a clay, an ochre, which produces that really lovely yellow colour, like my sofa. I realised I've got so much stuff that's ochre in my house. I was like, oh, I should have used that name. So it's a really beautiful name, this really natural clay, makes it very earthy and outdoorsy. I think it could be for either girl or boy. I think it makes a strong middle spot. My friends just used it in her boy's middle name, and I was like, that is such a good shout, ochre. But I reckon it one to watch for coming up through the ranks over the next few years, because it really seems on trend with the O, with Oliver being our #1 name. Ochre is a kind of a much more trendier version of it, and once you get used to the pronunciation and the spelling, that it's not really phonetic, I think it really stands up as a really good boy name. Next is an L sounding name that I've never heard before, that if you are really into your crystals, do correct me if I say any of this wrong, because I'm not a crystal nerd, just a name nerd. And it's the name Lazuli. So isn't that so cool? Because we love L sounds for girls, and the Z gives it that high Scrabble letter edginess to it, Lazuli. So this stone is actually called lapis lazuli, and it's really been prized since antiquity, a very, very ancient prized precious stone because it is so blue. So it's got a real intense colour to it, lapis lazuli, and it's got a lot of symbolism within crystals. So it's supposed to open your mind and really bring enlightenment and really lift your mood throughout the day. So if anyone's got any lapis lazuli, swing it over to me. I actually did it. It's not so nice in a Wiltshire accent, lazuli. Lazuli is just so gorgeous, and what's also special about this, I want to get this right, is that it's taken from the word. So lapis was the Latin word for stone, and lazuli means sky or heaven, so it was known as the sky stone or the heaven stone. So if you're just taking lazuli, it literally translates as heaven, which is so beautiful for a little girl, lazuli. What do you think? Would you prefer Olivine or lazuli? Which one would you feel is more wearable and more trendy? There's no one called lazuli right now, so it's a really up and coming name that you could pinch early. Or how about using Topaz as a name? It's a really unusual one, but it's a gemstone that we're all really aware of. It feels like it's kind of broken out and is a bit of a trendier one. We wear topaz a lot in our jewellery. It's really hard wearing, so it's got lots of good uses for that, and it comes in a variety of colours, but it's mostly known for being a yellowy colour, and that's why it's been used since ancient times. So they used to think it was the stone of the god of the sun, Ra. So quite nice again to know this deep history with topaz. It's the birthstone for November as well. So would you be, yeah, you wouldn't be quite due yet if you're having a baby in November, but if you're having a November baby in a few months, you could always think back to topaz. It comes from a Sanskrit word, Topaz, which meant fire. So it's got that kind of fire in it, it's got that kind of strength in it, it's got that real warmth of the colour. So Topaz could be a really gorgeous baby name. Kind of one you've heard of before, but I love as a name, is gold. So how we use gold as names, there's two ways. So Goldie for girls, we've talked about it before, absolutely love it. It's got such 70s vibes with kind of like Goldie Hawn. There were 18 girls named Goldie last year, and it's just got a lot going for it because you can add that IE and make it into a really wearable name, and I just really like it. Some people have talked to me about in their family trees they actually have somebody named Golden. So in the past, Golden was a popular first name. It's not being used at the moment. I wonder if Harry Styles will bring it back. Actually be a good baby name for him if he ever has a baby. So Golden, but really cool. I mean, gold is known as being obviously one of our most expensive rocks, but what's interesting about gold is it's kind of just society has made it the most expensive. It was kind of originally because it was very difficult to get hold of, but it's kind of like a social construct that we were like, gold is the best and the most expensive. So really interesting, and I just think it's a beautiful colour. It's actually, my daughter, if you ask her favourite colour, sometimes she'll say gold, which I think is very posh of her, but I just think it's a gorgeous name. Goldie, love, love, love. And the last up, how about the name Slate? So I kind of think this works really well. Again, it sounds like a full finished name, like a Nate, and we already use names like coal and stuff like that, so why not Slate? What's nice about Slate is it is a balancing stone, so it's got a lot of symbolism with it as well. So if you hold it, it's basically very good for your chakras and to balance you as well. So if you're into that side of things, then Slate is a really good name. I like it because it's kind of got surname as first name cool as well. It sounds like New Yorkie, doesn't it? Slate. Maybe that's put people off it, but I really think that that makes it really edgy, a bit of an edgier name like Jet, which is another gemstone name, or Onyx. I think Slate really stands up there with them, but yeah, at the moment it is not used at all. So those were my top 10 gem, mineral and rock names for boys and girls. I hope you liked it. There are so many more I could have put on this list, so do keep the list going in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for your support over on the podcast and Baby Name Envy, the community. If you want to join in picking names for people, or you have your own specific name dilemma, you can find us over on Instagram. The podcast will be back soon, I promise. I'm a better host than I am producer, and I'm self-producing it right now, which is going terribly. Just to put my hands up to that. So we will be back with some episodes soon. They are recorded and in the can. I just need to edit. Thanks as ever for being the most lovely, supportive community. If you want to support us, you can also hit subscribe, share with a friend. I would love that, and I will see you on the next video. Oh, and do leave a request in the comment section below. I want to request, I want you to like the one that you like the most, so I can get back to doing the top requested video in the comment section the following week. I love you guys. Bye guys.